Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we also have Miguel and Holly Uncensored Sunday sessions. Mm-hmm. Holly, you did your Mother's Day edition. How was it?
I quite enjoyed it. Couple of technical notes I'd like to give myself. I'm struggling to do a podcast. I was like, oh, you're gonna be so good at it. No, these first many are gonna be terrible because I don't know what I'm doing. But the content I think was pretty good. I talked about how, it's hard to be a mom sometimes, and we find ourselves in the middle of it and thinking is this what it's supposed to be? I had a really great memo come in from a fan member named Stephanie, who was asking, when do I start enjoying this? And I was like, wow, that is such a great question that nobody likes to talk about. Especially when you have a toddler, it can be really tough. So we spent some time on that. I talked about my mom a little bit and in the beginning. And when I listened back, I was like, I feel like I didn't even, the story could have been longer. I felt, because I feel like I didn't even get through all of it. I was just so afraid of making it too long. So I'm still working out the kinks. I edited it because, again, I was like, well, let me take out all of the ums and the buts and all this. And then it just sounded like one long sentence. So I'm just struggling with how to do it. But I am learning something new every time I do one.
That's what it's all about. So. That's what this whole exercise is for. Just because if you ever do start your own podcast, you've worked out all the kinks now, right, instead of just going into it and figuring this out later on in life. Because
good Lord, it's just difficult for me. So learning new things every time.
Speaking of, there is a podcast. If you are a podcast listener, which I'm assuming if you listen to this, you are, there is one from NPR called Throughline, where they have an issue and then they sort of go back to history to see how did we get here to this point. And they had one on motherhood and how we've gotten to this point in society where they always say, well, when you give birth and you look at your child, you're going to love them and have this well of love. And how so many women are like, is something wrong with me because I didn't feel that?
I talk about that on the podcast.
And they sort of walk through how we got to that point in our society because that wasn't always the case.
No,
it wasn't always the case that women were supposed to have this motherly instinct that people talk about. That's something that has come about because of capitalism. And it's really interesting if you're into that sort of understanding of how we got to here. So it's called Throughline.
I'm gonna write that episode down. That is interesting to me because it's almost like a fantasy. It's almost like I call it a myth, but it's romanticized to the point of if you don't feel that, you're made to think something's wrong with you.
Right.
And you can't control feelings. You can't make yourself feel a type of way. So it's a little bit damaging, truly. Anyway.
So
buyer's remorse.
Well, not even that. Just it's the absence of and I say this in the podcast, but it's my mom made it seem like the clouds opened up and little hearts and rainbows shot out. And that's the only thing she ever wanted in her whole entire life was to be a mom. And then I'm this golden child. And so she gave me a bit of a skewed perspective on what it really was going to be like. And so when I did give birth and they put Maya on my chest, I was like, where is it? Where's the feeling? What's the feeling? Is it going to switch on right now?
Yeah.
When is it now? Is this it? It's kind of like if a guy does not necessarily have this problem, but for a woman, if you're before you've ever had an orgasm, you're like, was that it? Did I do it? I think I did it. That must have been it. And then you actually have an orgasm. You're like, oh, wow, never mind.
That was it.
I was wrong.
I feel like that way about drinking. I remember the first time I drank and I was like, I'm drunk. I was not.
You were a little buzzed.
You're so great.
You might have been a little buzzed. You had a little tiny bit tipsy.
I was just now I know it's once you've had maybe one or two, depending upon your level of tolerance, and you just are like, okay, cool. I feel a little more relaxed. That's what that was. But in my mind, I was like, I'm drunk. And everyone was like, girl, you've had one sangria. What is wrong with you?
Maybe it was an empty stomach.
Yeah, to be fair, you might have been a little tipsy.
This is true.
Yeah.
But I was like 21. Yeah, because I waited till I was 21 to drink.
Mhm.
And so everyone else had been very experienced in it, and they were like, "Girl, calm down." You are nothing.
But it's exciting when it's your first one.
It is. And I feel like that way too when it comes to like how you feel love or like those moments of love. Because like I always thought, now I can look back and see the feeling of like lust.
Mm.
I would confuse that with love. And I'd be like, well, I feel some sort of way. But like I've told the story before, it wasn't until that one time when Abe and I, after being together for some months and we were intimate, and I looked in his eyes and he looked into my eyes, and then we both started like tearing up. And I was like, oh, so this is love.
Mm-hmm.
This is that feeling where like you just are so overtaken by looking at someone and to their soul.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, ooh, I really want to like be with you.
Yeah, it really actually is very separate from sexuality. Like,
Right.
yes, you can feel love while you're doing like the sexy time stuff, but it's also there that a different feeling is there that has nothing to do with, I want to jump your bones. Like,
That's
it's
a whole different
different.
feeling.
It's different. You're
Oh.
like, I really I care for this person. Like, I am invested in their well-being, and I'm going to choose them, and I'm gonna keep choosing them even when I don't necessarily like it that much, because it goes deeper than that. Like, it has nothing to do with, well, how you doing?
Yeah.
But that's kind of what parenting was too. It was, and Miguel, I think, has finally hit the nail on the head when I realized when I first got the dog that we have now, Teddy, and I was like, I don't know. And Miguel's like, well, you got to get to know the dog. You don't like anybody until you get to know.
No, Holly is not a meet someone. Oh, there's an instant connection.
No,
It
not
is.
even my own cat.
No.
I had to get to know her. I had to get to know her because I can't just. And that's what the problem was. I was like, well, I'm supposed to love this child, this baby. And I'm like, I don't even know this baby.
And then
Some people are like,
a lot of
I-
responsibility after that.
yes. And some people are like, oh, well, you knew her while she was in your womb growing this whole time. And I'm like, yeah, but also no.
No. She made me
Mm,
throw up a few times. Like, it just
so
yeah.
I wasn't able to take cold medicine when I had a cold, thanks to her. So there was that.
drink or smoke, you can do
no,
shit.
no,
So you
don't
actually
matter.
didn't like her.
I was like, and then I'm like, oh man, it's just the responsibility takes over. And so that's why I was like, I really wanted to talk about that on the podcast because it is so difficult to just put a label on all of that. And it's very complex. So
On top of
Yes.
postpartum, I'm assuming you covered, right?
I didn't, not in
Oh.
this podcast. Again,
It was just the feelings before. Yeah.
It was my mom talking about my mom, talking about, we had our listener memo, Stephanie, and then talking about like parenting is not this magical switch that flips. And then also I gave a couple of pieces of advice, like, make sure you're taking lots of videos. And the big advice was stuff that we've actually talked about on this podcast before, in that not every parent is great at every age. Like, if you're having a hard time with a toddler, it might just be because toddler parenting is not for you. But maybe teen parenting is,
Mhm.
maybe you're
Yeah.
going to knock it out of the park with tweens or with a 7-year-old. I don't know, so everyone's got their season.
Yeah.
I want to talk about how media in movies and TV shows gives us our perspective on different aspects of life that don't turn out to necessarily be the case. We're going to get to that here in a second, but I wanted to read Shannon's message. She said, question, maybe I'm just slow, but I've been meaning to ask, for non-Apple users, how do you send a voice note to Holly for her podcast? So there
I
might
don't know, I have an Apple phone. I don't know.
The iPhone. Baby.
I'm about to say-
I'm sure there's an app.
On an
Yeah.
Android, there must be an app on
Yeah.
your Android that you can record a memo. I think, and maybe
Yeah.
you can answer back in the comments, but like whatever that app is, like where you can record yourself, do that and then send it to my email. That's what I would hope would work, even if you don't have an iPhone.
And also, too, if you're like, girl, I don't know, I'm not a phone savvy person, you can always on the iHeartRadio app leave a talk back for Holly, and then we can give it to her because we check
Yeah.
those pretty
That too.
frequently.
Yeah.
And you can leave a talk back for Holly.
Is there a time limit on the talkbacks?
No, it's just about how
Oh.
far back we can scroll, like how
Gotcha.
many.
That's dangerous. You shouldn't have said that out loud.
I know. Well, I request that when you do send me a voice memo, you try to keep it to about a minute. Like,
Right.
Yes.
Well, it'll only give you 30 seconds on the talk back. So
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Mhm,
but-
mhm, mhm.
Okay. So anyway, send a talk back, whatever you need to do.
but sort of like on that same wavelength of like motherhood, but I feel like marriage is that way as well, because my mom was never, or she was married to my brother's father, but I've never seen my mom in like a super long-term relationship, and my grandmother was never in any long-term relationships in my life. And so I never had any sort of growing up views of marriage, but then I would just watch movies and TV shows. And so you would always think that, oh, you're every day, you're like, I love my person. This is great. This is exciting and fun. And then I remember when Michelle Obama was like, remember when she said, oh, I hated Barack Obama for like 10 years.
Yes.
And everyone was like, what?
Yeah, everybody's like, wait, what? And in that same interview, didn't she also talk about how some days you're given 80 and they're given 20%?
Mhm.
And it's just not like everyone's like, oh, it's a 50-50 partnership. Well, you can't. Like human
Right.
beings, you're not going to be able to give
It's not
100% of yourself into that every day.
Yeah. And to me, that's been one of the most surprising things in being with, Abe and I think we're hitting 8 years together this
Mhm.
fall. And there are so many parts of it that, because I've never seen it before, that I find so interesting about like the level of comfort that you feel with someone. But then also, like, for both of us, the little things that just send you up a wall about each other.
Yeah.
Like the other day, like he was just pointing out something that I do that annoyed him. And so then I got annoyed. And so then we're both like, "Rah, rah, rah," and then we're just like quiet. But then I'm like, well, you know what you do?
Oh, no.
That tick for tat, girl. Ooh, gets me every time in my relationship too. Because being critiqued about something you do, there's always top of mind. I'm like, but what about you?
Right.
And then that's toxic
'Cause
in
you-
itself.
It
Oh.
is toxic because you're like, this is not the time. I
Right.
should have already said my thing at some other point if I was so mad.
That part.
Well, what it was is we were having a talk with our financial advisor, and we were on the laptop in our kitchen, and the laptop was up close to my face because she was presenting some stuff, and I couldn't see it, so I like got real close to the camera. And just what I do is I give verbal or encouragements as she's talking, and I'm just like and like I tend to shake my head a lot when I'm on camera like that, and this is what I do in real life.
Yes, because you're active listening.
Right, I'm an active listener. And so like halfway through, he like put his hand on my head and told, as I was doing it, and he was like, stop that, it's distracting. And I was like,
Oh,
yeah, out. And I
Funny
was
bitch.
like, well, look at you looking mean the whole time, like you don't want to be here. At least I'm looking. And then I was like, okay, you're right.
Sorry, give me a
you gotta
second.
be like,
Sorry, hold on. I gotta go on mute.
hold on 1 second. We'll be right back.
Kid, it's just
And
Miguel
then you're
head
like
going.
in whispering, you're like,
And then it's like, please hold on for technical difficulties right now as we. Bitch, what the fuck are you doing on this thing? What the hell? Let me tell you something. All right, thank you so much. Okay, you can pick up to where you left off.
What's so funny is we also have that same financial advisor, and I get so pissed off at my fiance when we're having the conversations with her too, because
It's 10 times.
it's 10 times, I guess, but he is an interrupter, and I can't stand it. I can't he interrupts her, he will interrupt me, and he's doing like he's asking like follow-up stuff, like it's appropriate content, but I'm like, can you shut up for a second? We didn't need you right now. But then his problem, he's like, if I don't do it, I will forget, and then I will lose the opportunity. But I'm like,
Write it down.
He's not doing it when you want.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much from this podcast process that me and Oscar have started. Like I am such a huge fan of him, and I don't really care if he is the better podcaster than I am. Like probably anybody is at this point. But when it
Not
comes to
me.
like producing or when it comes to like, hey, have your notes ready. You know, I'm going to tell you what you need to do, what you need to polish, what you need to do better.
Yeah.
And for him, he's like, well, why don't you lead by example? The thing about Oscar is that he is a manager. He's a corporate manager. So he goes into that mode, not into husband mode where I'm just feeding him the things what he needs to do, whatever.
Right.
No, in this is, hey, this is a partnership. If you want me to do this and write down my notes, where's yours? Why aren't you leading by example? And I was like, you fucking you're so fucking right. Pisses me off. And I can't,
also,
my response, what am I supposed to say?
Right.
Yeah. But also like, you're like, well, that's not how I like to lead.
Right.
We had talked in the car about like, hey, we need to like really get to the point when it comes to our stories. We don't want to go running around in circles. We talked about it in the car. And so right before we're about to record for this new episode, he tells me, hey, why don't we kind of extend the time of our podcast? We try to keep it at 45 minutes, but he's like, let's kind of extend it a little bit to an hour, just because this is like some personal stuff we're talking about. And in my mind, in my head, that read, oh, let's just be willy-nilly with it, which I don't want. So I said, let's just keep our stories concise. And he goes, well, why are you repeating that? And I was like, well, Holly has notes when she has notes in front of her that say, you know, keep it short. And so she reminds herself, you know, right before break. So that's all I'm doing. It's the same thing. And he was like, but we just talked about it. I don't understand.
Oh.
And girl, we went in and out only for us to just better understand each other. Like, okay, that wasn't the point. Like he felt like I was being passive aggressive and telling him that. But
Right.
I wasn't.
It's not. It's coming from a different place
Right.
because you do this for a living.
Right. But he took it in a different way. And I also took what he said in a different way as well. So,
well, and that's the hard part about
the miscommunication.
Right.
Yes.
And also depending upon your mood and how you're feeling, because there are so many times where, you know, especially if we're in a group setting and I'm telling a story, and then I'll be like, oh, you know, it was last Christmas. And then he'll be like, oh, no, it was 2 Christmases ago. And like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right. But then there are sometimes if I'm really in it, and you know, Holly, when I get on that train and I'm like getting ready to get to like the punchline, and he's like, well, no, actually it was. And I'm like, does it fucking matter when it was? Like, why? I know, because he just likes to be factual.
Yeah.
And he's always just like, well, actually, no. And I'm like, I'm telling a funny story, and now you fucked up my punchline.
Oh, no.
And he's like, I'm sorry. I just thought you would want
like, it was relevant. But it wasn't that.
Let him cook. God damn.
I know. I'm like, when you're on that train, you just got to go. I'm just gonna enjoy it, no matter how many times I have heard the story.
Right.
And it's probably a lot by now.
Yes.
I want to hear it. I want to hear you say the story.
Yes. And then Abe is just like, he's just not we do radio. So this is what we do for a living. And so, or especially like if I've told a story before and he'll be like, oh, you've told that before. I'm like, okay, but there is one new person here
I don't care.
that hasn't heard it.
Everybody's a new listener.
So everybody will be hearing it for the first time, okay?
And I think you're like me. Like, you know, I'm going to tell the story the exact same way as though everyone is hearing it for the first time. So.
Well,
love our partners.
Good times.
But then there are times where it's like yesterday, we were like, it was just a couch movie day. And then we had a couple of friends that were like, hey, what are y'all doing? And we both were like, we don't want to see anybody. We just want to lay on the couch and just sit in our filth. And just
couch rot.
Yes.
Unbrushed teeth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nasty, yeah. Y'all make it out.
Oh, no, there was none of that. No.
Making out on Sundays?
Not on a couch rot day. No.
Yeah,
that's like,
I gotta say, I'm not making out on a couch rot day either.
Like Saturday morning before things get started, yes. But Sunday on couch rot day, no. No, this is just sitting on the couch. And then there was one point where we called our moms. This is so gross. And we had the phone on speakerphone on a pillow between us. And I was like telling a story to my mom. And then I noticed that Abe put his hoodie over his nose. And I was like, oh, I guess my breath stinks.
Oh my God. Well, it's because you didn't brush your teeth.
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I should brush my teeth.
And did you?
Nope.
God damn.
No.
Listen, that's not what that day is for. We're supposed to just sit there in our filth. Okay.
You just walk past it in the bathroom. You look and you're like, not today.
No.
Not you. Not today, toothbrush.
I walk
Hey,
right past
Like purposely, you look at it, you're like, no.
be like, ooh.
Sunday.
Nope.
Can't.
Well, because like we haven't had a day like this in a long time because usually there's something. And so I was like, it's been a minute, so I can't wait. So I looked at that toothbrush and I was like, see you Monday morning.
I'll be back here for you Monday. Not before. Ooh, wait a minute. Do you not brush in the morning or the evening?
No.
Oh.
Not even in the evening? Oh, damn. I
No.
thought morning is one thing because I have missed a morning or two
Mhm.
here and there. Because
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know what? I'm about to have coffee anyway.
Yes, exactly.
But nighttime, like, that's part of the routine.
No, not on Sunday because on Sunday it's a little bit different because I've taken my edible earlier than normal. And so
Uh-huh.
by the time I go to bed, I'm like, just getting up the stairs is a lot. And so then I'm just like, the thought of going in the bathroom and then, but like I said, these type of Sundays probably happen like once a month.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, hey. I'm like, you want a good night kiss?
No. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I can't.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Well,
there you go.
everybody's
Everybody's
got their own
relationships are
thing.
alive.
That's fine.
Yes, girl. But then this morning I flossed.
Oh, in
And
the
I-
morning, you're a morning flosser?
Yeah. I mean, well, after not doing it for
Yeah.
Sunday, I had to make up for it. So
Oh, okay.
Deep clean.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Holly, how was your Mother's Day weekend?
It was really good. I really did enjoy my Mother's Day. I thought it was probably one of my favorite ones. I can't think of a better one at the top of my head. But it was nice because so let me back up. So my stepdaughter's piano recital was on Friday, which was great because she has not done something like this before where she's doing a thing for like an audience and she's super beginner. I mean, she just started a few months ago. So I don't even know if they were going to put her in this recital, but they did. And so she got her one little hand going. She was doing the thing. I was like, good for you. So that was cute. But then my ex-husband, Maya's dad, wanted Maya this weekend, even though it was supposed to be my weekend, because they had to reschedule their child's birthday party from like a month ago for a few different reasons. And so Maya's like little sister's birthday was on Saturday. And I didn't have a problem with that. Listen, I don't really know if my ex appreciates this or not, but I'm the most chill, flexible, understanding ex. I like to give myself props. Like, I don't know if he appreciates it. Probably not at all.
No, probably not.
Probably not. But like, I like to try to be as agreeable as possible because we're just trying to parent this kid, right? So even though it's supposed to be my weekend, I'm like, yeah, no problem. That's fine. But, Mother's Day. And he's like, cool. Well, I'll just bring her back on Sunday. That's really the extent of the conversation we had about it. And so when I dropped Maya off after that piano recital on Friday night, I get to his house at like 8:30 and I'm like, okay, so maybe bring her back home at like, to our house at 9:30, 10. He's like, we'll see. And I was like, well, but he's like, I'm like, we're gonna go to breakfast for Mother's Day. And he's like, well, yeah, it's Mother's Day. So my mom's in town and we have, my wife and her. And I was like, I was like, first of all, you didn't tell me that your mom was coming in town. And so he's like, yeah, well, that's why we did it on Mother's Day. And I'm like, okay, all of this, I did not have that information. I was like, so you're saying you want to have breakfast with Maya and all the moms on Sunday? He's like, yes. I'm like, that's fine. Just sometime whenever you're done with breakfast, then just bring her by. So, we went out on Saturday night because I did not have a kid on Sunday morning, and we went out. And when I say out, I mean actually we stayed in because
I was like, where'd you go?
No, well, we were supposed to go. It was me and my fiance and our old producer Scott and his girlfriend Monica, and we're making up this tiki boat thing. There's like a floating tiki hut at the St. Pete Pier where it goes for like an hour and a half and you bring your own alcohol and snacks and you just float around for an hour and a half. So we had to reschedule it. So then Saturday we're like, we're doing it. So we ate dinner down by the pier, and then we're like running because we went to the wrong place at first. And it had rained a little bit, but it was supposed to be clear after that. We run, we get to this tiki hut. It is 8:30 p.m. It's dark, and this captain is just sitting at this tiki boat, and he goes, "Oh no, we're not taking the boat out." I was like,
Oh.
Not
What?
a phone call.
right. And he's like, "Didn't somebody call you?" And she's like, "No, I called you to make sure where you were. Nobody said anything." So he was at least nice enough, because I was like, now we have to walk all the way back around. And then so he took us like across the water short to where we needed to go, which was nice. Enough of a taste to be like, can we just stay on this? No? Okay, we can't.
Just sit
Gotta
here.
get
So
off
then
on the
we
water.
had all of this alcohol and snacks and stuff. And we're like, what the hell are we going to do? So we sat at the pier for a little bit. Some lady had to come out and tell us we couldn't bring our own alcohol to where we were sitting. So we got to find a different place to sit. So after we had we're just sitting out on the concrete at the St. Pete Pier. And I'm like, why don't we just go back to the house?
Yeah, the night's
What are we
over. This is
doing?
done.
We were like trying to make drinks like on the concrete. And then security came up and we're like, hi.
Hey,
Can
sorry.
we be here? He's like,
some cocktails here.
well, we should be okay. I'm like, okay. At that point, I'm like, we need to wrap up.
Yeah.
So we went back to my house and we just did karaoke for the rest of the night. They stayed until like midnight-ish, maybe later, maybe 12:30. And when they left, I was like, I'm not done. I was pretty drunk.
Hell yeah.
And then I made my fiance stay up for like a whole nother hour so that the two of us could just sing songs on our karaoke machine.
I did get videos from Monica of you standing on your coffee table, just going at it, singing.
I don't even know what I sang. I don't even know what all the songs I sang. That's great. You have video. I have video of her. So she's lucky I don't just send it. It's fine. It's going to be too embarrassing. I'm going to tell you to shut it off.
I can't
probably.
wait.
No, let me.
Yeah, let's see.
No. Oh. Celine Dion. See? You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay.
There's one.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, there's
She
multiple.
sent two.
Oh,
yeah.
why did she send all these? Oh. I was really into that one, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah.
The claps.
Oh, Holly, you didn't have no bra on. You were getting it, girl.
Wait,
Yes.
what was I wearing?
You just had on like one of your night tank tops.
Oh,
I put my
blue.
jammies on.
Girl, you were comfortable.
yes.
You were just.
Oh no.
Oh, she sent me 3.
Okay, that's enough. Like we don't
One
need
more.
Oh, Pink Pony Club.
That's a great instrumental.
Yeah.
I don't want to get us shut down.
I don't have any videos of myself. I just have
I'll send these
videos
to
of
you.
White
them.
girl wasted.
White girl wasted. That's why. Our dog got into it at some point. Oh no, I had a bra on. Did I? Oh, were my titties flapping?
Post the photo.
No,
I
I'm
think
Miguel and
I-
Holly fam kid.
Yeah,
I think I probably took it off. It's fine.
Yeah, Holly, you were having a good time, girl.
Yes.
Listen, that bra was constrictive.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
No,
so that
let
was
him
really
out.
fun.
Let him free, girl. Let him go.
We had a good time. Obviously, I had a good time. I did not wake up until 10 a.m.
Oh,
because I don't think we got to sleep until like 3, which is wild. I'm never up that late.
you were
And
up
so-
later than I was, and Lord knows the last time that happened.
I know, it's crazy. So we were up real late. So then I woke up at 10 very much in a fog, and I was just like, what is my life right now? And I had missed a call from my Auntie Pearl about Mother's Day, and Maya was trying to FaceTime me. So I'm like, hi, hello. And she's like, happy Mother's Day. And I'm like, hi, that's great.
Thanks.
Hi.
Thanks,
I'm
child.
so excited.
Baby
And
girl.
so then I'm like talking to her, but like her dad is in the background talking through her to me, and like I'm trying to like figure out when they're coming, and I'm like, well, do you want to come to Waffle House? We want to go to Waffle House. And he's like, well, no. And whatever. I thought that she was going to be dropped back off by noon. Apparently not. She didn't get dropped back off until like closer to 2. So in the meantime, I was like, I'm gonna treat myself and get my hair blown out. So I got a little blowout, which means I didn't have to wash it myself yesterday, which was relaxing. I tried to hydrate a lot. Finally got Maya back. She was in a great mood, which is good. You know, we're dealing with some tween things. She's 11. You know, she's gonna be 12 here in a little while. So
it's starting.
Emotions sometimes can get a little high. And went to my fiance's parents' house for some dinner, and it was just a really relaxing. His mom was like, "Do you want some wine?" And I was like, "Yep."
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep. So
Give
it
me
was
that mama wants some wine.
really nice. It was like a very relaxing evening. But then I was ready to like go to bed at 7:30. Like Maya was like, "We're not going to bed yet." I'm like, I'm like, I can't make it, Maya. It was 8:15. I'm like, we got to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And she was so mad because her bedtime is 8:30. And I'm like, just wrap it up. Just go watch whatever you're watching in your room because I can't.
I'm done. Bye.
Stay up. But then we had some thunderstorms come through, and then Mom, and I was like, it's fine. We have a new roof. We're safe.
There are no raccoons in the walls, girl. You fine.
Jesus. So anyway, that was how the night went. But it was all in all a really great Mother's Day. So I was very happy about that, and it was just very relaxing. And I was like weirdly not that hung up. Like I didn't have a pounding headache. I wasn't nauseous. I was like, okay, just hazy. That was just hazy. So we're fine. It was good.
Kelvin, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Productive. I feel like I did so many things every single day. Friday, went back home. Husband Oscar is apparently getting into the whole fitness side of things, it seems. He was like, I'll go to the gym with you. And I was like, interesting.
I saw that on your story.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, we could do that. So I took him. I think I'm not the best teacher. I'm really not. I think if I really know somebody, I'm like really impatient, and I don't know why I'm like that. Because when it's someone new, like if somebody were to start here, I'd love to be a great teacher, but I don't know. I've always been that way when it comes to like my friends or family, which is horrible. You would think I'd be kinder, but I'm just not patient. I don't know. I think maybe because I expect my friends and family to know better, but they don't if they're coming to me, right?
Right.
They're new to it.
Right. So I was just like telling him like, no, you have to do it this way. And he's like, why? And I was like, I actually don't know. I just follow whatever the TikTok and the Reels guys tell me to do. So I couldn't really explain to him why he had to do it a certain way. It felt better. I told you won't get injured.
Right.
Like,
the form. It's like whatever, probably when you're learning it from someone else, like they're doing it the correct way because that's the form you're supposed to use.
Yeah. And so I couldn't really explain that to him. But for the most part, he got everything. It was pretty easy. We did shoulders, we did triceps, and he did a pretty good job. So that was Friday. Then we watched All Stars 10. If you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, you know exactly what that is. All the fan favorites come back. There's a brand new format now, which is really interesting. They're doing like a tournament where they have 18 girls, but they're dividing them by 6 now. So you only have like 3 episodes each bracket to really hang out with those queens, those 6 of those queens. Then after 3 episodes, it's another set of queens. So it's really interesting. It's changing up the format, which is good. What else? Then it's kind of sad. I virtually call my friends, Shay and Alex, to all of us watch it together at the same time. And it's very much pandemic feels. Like it just felt like we were during the pandemic. So it was a little strange, but it was a good time.
So do y'all just talk to each other during the commercial breaks?
So there is no commercial breaks because it's on Paramount Plus now. And we had talked about that. We were like, man, we kind of missed the commercials because that was the time to go to the bathroom to catch up and say our opinions. But this is an episode that just goes full through. So there'd be times where we look at each other and we'd be like, pause.
Okay, because I was like, how does that work? And then do y'all like start it at the exact same time? So you're like 3, 2, 1, play.
Yes.
Okay, because I was wondering, are there any
crazy.
apps where you can like watch it at the same time and it starts?
No, I wish there were.
I feel like
They do it on the Disney Plus app. You can use there's a feature, I'm like 99% sure, on Disney Plus where you can remotely watch something with someone else. But I don't think any of the other apps are doing that.
Yeah.
because that would be cool. Because I'm like, I feel like it'd be like a second or two off, even if you press play at the same time.
I know.
So we did that. It was a good chill night. And then the next day was Saturday, so we watched Nona's thanks to Holly's recommendation.
I can't wait to watch it.
We watched it. It was really cute. Definitely in the feels. Oscar was very, very close to his grandmother, and
Well, can you describe what the movie is if someone hadn't heard of it yet?
yeah. So Vince, it's actually based on a true story, which I didn't know. And Holly, I'm so sorry if you said that already. Maybe you
I
did.
don't know if I
when you
did or not.
described it.
I don't remember.
But it's based on a true story, a restaurant in Staten Island where this guy was very close growing up, Italian roots in New York. And he grew up with his mom and his grandmother always cooking in the kitchen, being very close-knit family. And I think he gets to the point where I think his mom dies and she leaves him some money. So he decides to open up a restaurant in Staten Island, and he only has grandma chefs in the kitchen.
Right.
And basically, he wants the atmosphere and the experience to be like you're getting a home cooked meal.
Mm.
And so it's really cute. Susan Sarandon?
Susan Sarandon.
Sarandon. She's in that.
Oh, I love Susan Sarandon.
I know, me too.
She's good in there. So she plays a role in there. And then there's these 4 or 3 grandmas that are really, really cute, very emotional. And I think by the end of it, we were in tears. It was very sweet.
I
Mm.
just
very
figured
sweet.
like I'm probably gonna cry because that's my family is like this Italian cooking family, and my mom died. So I feel like I'm gonna just need a box. Of
Yeah. That's a
fine.
cute one. And so we watched that, and then right after I started to create these cake pops. I've never made cake pops before. I haven't really baked in a really long time. For those who don't know, I love baking, but I don't do it really often anymore. I tried the vanilla that you gave me, Holly, which is delicious.
Is it good?
I was going to text you, but I forgot. Holly gave me this like really bougie vanilla bean, like a vanilla bean drop. Like what are they? Syrup?
Yeah, like an extract.
Extract.
But,
There we go.
yeah.
It was so good. And then I made these zebra cake pops for Miguel because I know he really likes them.
Mm-hmm.
So I made those. And then we started to play this brand new video game. It's called Split Fiction on the PlayStation. And it's from the same developers. It's like a co-op game. So you can only go to the next level if your partner is helping you. You can't, I can't surpass Oscar in the level until he helps me with the thing. So it's really fun. We get along. We don't argue as much as we did the first time we played the game, the first version. So that was fun. And then we got ready to go to Miguel's and we ate the fuck down.
That looked amazing.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was like, I just want that in my mouth.
Oh, it
Save
was
that.
good.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I feel like that's not my story. That's more Miguel's story. So I don't want to be like, well, this happened and I did this. So I'll let Miguel explain that. But it was lovely and it was so good. Went to the club right after. Nothing too crazy happened. I don't have any crazy stories that happened over the weekend, but it was just event after event. Sunday, we go to Bath and Body Works. I get a good fucking deal. I was super proud of that. I got 7 candles for $75, which is a deal now because they sell them for $17 now.
Yeah.
So me and my
I thought they were
coupons.
more than that, honestly.
Sometimes it depends.
Good Lord, they're so expensive.
So I don't buy candles often anymore like I used to. But when it was a good deal, I was like, I'm going to take advantage of that shit. And then I'm pretty sure that's it. I didn't do anything else Sunday. I just relaxed. I stay up now to watch The Last of Us.
Good on you.
And it is, it's trucking along. It's very much, you can tell when you're watching the scenes that you're like, oh, this is a part in the video game that you would need to fight. And I don't know if people are liking that or not. I personally am enjoying it, but I know some people are complaining about it online.
What, it's too slow, or is it?
It feels like you're watching someone play a video game. Just HBO made a show about it. But what do you expect? It's
right. That's what it is.
It's a video game show.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish I could give details. The only thing I'll say is that shit's getting bad.
Oh God.
It's getting bad.
Oh,
I'll be watching it tonight.
Yeah, in their world, not the show itself.
Right.
And then I was in tears at the end of it.
Oh.
Little tiny tear. Yeah.
Oh God, I have that to look forward to tonight.
And that's my weekend.
We had a good weekend. Friday we did this Monopoly life-size exhibit that's here in Charlotte, and it was so much fun. So if you are a listener and you are in Charlotte, you should absolutely go do this. The only downside was that it was open bar because it was like a media night. And so they had like these food trucks and the open bar to where you could have all the drinks you wanted. Well, my husband and our friend had been drinking before we went to the thing. And then we went to So Fuck Punch for dinner because they have some good chicken tenders there. And then we went to this thing. So they were feeling kind of toasty.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when you go, so it's basically like 4 different stations set up where there's like a big board where you roll these big dice, and then you go into these little mini escape rooms, and you have like 2 minutes to get out. And if you get through them in the 2 minutes, then you win money for your team. Well, they do these little side quests if you don't get one. And so one of them is, those money, I don't know what they're called, where they have money, fake money in it, and then the wind blows up, and then you're trying to grab
It's
the
like
cash.
a money tunnel.
Yeah.
Cash tunnel.
Grab.
Well, I did that.
Okay.
Now the thing is that they tell you, because there are kids there, they're like, do not cuss because there are kids in this thing. Well, our friends had been drinking and it was open bar.
Well,
so I get into the money cash grab thing. And then here's what happened.
What did you say?
This is not what I said because I wasn't drunk.
Miguel, scoop up. Grab and scoop. Grab with your hands too. Maybe it's just a grab. I don't know. Oh my God. Any cash, bitch. Any cash, grab it. Grab it. $1.
Oh.
All right. Hold up. Let it settle.
Oh.
I couldn't hear.
Out here shouting bitch out like it's their job and they're getting paid overtime.
Bitch. Jesus.
That was actually our other friend that was saying that part. So I couldn't hear any of that because it was so loud.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then when I walk out and I see them looking, because I could see them through the glass looking all excited. And then I look beyond them and I see some of the other players and the parents, and they were all like,
well,
I was like, and
it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
But I'm like, why did they have kids come to this thing? Because it was open bar. Because then like there was a mom and a dad and their 2 sons that was next to us. And like in the first part, before you walk into the game, they're sort of like getting y'all to go against each other. And so Abe was being Abe, and this mom and her and Abe were going back and forth, and they were like, I'm gonna take you down. And I'm like, okay, Abe, just don't let it go too far. We're all like friendly competition.
It's fun.
Right. Let's not get crazy. But then the mom was getting into it too, and she was like, you're fucking going down. And the people over it, they were like, so we got a mouthy group here. I was like,
That's
oh my
what
God.
I
media
see.
people.
I forget sometimes when I am momming if I'm getting a little too casual. Like if I'm like, if I was hanging out with you guys, for example, and Maya was there, or if I have like another friend over the house or whatever, and I start talking to them like I just talk as a grown adult who's not a mom.
Right.
And I forget for a second that I am a mom, and then I'll be like, I was like, God damn, and I'm like, and then I'm like, I mean, oh no, and I'm like, maybe she didn't hear, like, because her dad swears all the time in front of her, so she's heard every word pretty much probably by now, and so she doesn't like it though because it probably sounds like harsh, to a kid, and so she knows that I do swear, but she doesn't know that I swear to the extent that I do because I try to keep it on the down low. So when I slip in front of her, I'm always like, oh no, I'm sorry. Which is also why when I flipped the person off last week, I was like, I'm sorry. No one, because I flipped someone off while I was driving last week with children in the car. So I had to apologize profusely. Anyway, so sometimes moms forget that they're momming.
Yeah, and so you could definitely tell, but it was fun. So if you're in Charlotte, I would definitely suggest you go to the life-size Monopoly thing. And then after that, we were done for the night because it's just Fridays now are just getting harder and harder for me to like do anything like late into the night. So by the time we got home and then our friends came over and we had like a drink or two because I was driving that night, so I didn't drink when we were out. I had like 2 or 3 drinks at home and I was like, all right, I'm ready for bed. And then Saturday, I spent the day getting the house ready because we were doing my makeup Easter dinner. Because usually on Easter weekend, I do like my fried chicken, collard greens, macaroni and cheese meal. So I was getting the house ready for that. And so then once I was done with that, a friend of ours, we went to go see Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. And oh my gosh, this movie is a masterpiece. I mean, just Michael B. Jordan playing 2 different characters in the same movie. One of our friends didn't even realize that Michael B. Jordan wasn't a twin. Because during the movie, he was like, oh, wow, I didn't know Michael B. Jordan was a twin. I'm like, no, girl, that's the same.
Also, I'm sorry, no, but would Michael B. Jordan's twin also be an actor that we have never heard of? Like,
well, he's just not
Michael
into
C.
like
Jordan,
Hollywood
like
like that. Like, he just doesn't
live his own life.
Right. He doesn't pay it. Like, he's not like,
oh,
let me read all about celebrities and stuff.
He's just as hot.
Right. But my God.
Did you like Haley Steinfeld's line?
Girl.
Stuck your tongue in my fucked me so damn hard. I figured you changed your mind. I fucking love that line.
Like the whole time when Haley Steinfeld is being the character, I was like, we met her and we made cookies with her and she held Holly's daughter Maya one time. Like,
I
that's
have the
wild.
photo. I was trying to find the photo at dinner because they were talking about having seen Sinners, and we are still trying to figure out when we can go and see it. But so I haven't seen it yet. But I was looking through my phone. I'm like, I have a picture of Maya with Haley Steinfeld. She's holding Maya. Maya was 2, by the way. I'm like, we're gonna save that photo because that's gonna be a good one day. But anyway.
Yeah, girl, Haley did it up, honey, because not only she's saying stuff, but then she was doing stuff, and I was like, oh my God. But the movie was just fantastic. Can't wait to go back. Like, Abe couldn't come because he had something else to do. So he wants to see it. So I'm like, I would absolutely go see that again. Like, so worth it. And then we had the fried chicken night. One of our friends got me fryer, so I don't do it over the stove. It's like one of those.
I saw that in your story. Like, I apparently was on social media yesterday. Like, I never see anybody's stories, but I saw all y'all's. So I was like, that's new.
Yeah.
How is that working? Because that's not the one that you got from 100 Day Dream Home.
No. That one we got is still in Florida, still in St. Pete. No.
So this one, how did it do it? Like,
It's
how was
good.
the result?
Oh, it's good.
Yes.
It's good, girl.
I love it. At first, I was kind of like, I want to use my Dutch oven for my fried chicken, is what I always do. But what's great about this is if you cook fried chicken, it's very much a balance because you have to keep the oil at 350 degrees. And so once you take the chicken out, you normally have to like cover up the pot, let the oil heat up again because it will drop once you put the meat in there. It does it for you automatically. Once you set the temperature for the contraption, it keeps it at 350 the entire time. So you don't have to worry about turning the eye on and off or down or low. So that makes it so much easier.
So it's regulating this temperature.
Absolutely. And what I like is the chicken is in a basket. And so sometimes if you don't turn the chicken over a lot in your Dutch oven, sometimes if you leave it too long, it can burn a little piece of the chicken. But this is in a fry basket and it's not
surrounding it.
Yeah. And so it makes it super easy. So I love it. I will be using this.
Question really quick. And I don't know why I keep forgetting to ask you this. So I'm glad we're talking about this. I talked about you while we were eating dinner at my fiance's parents' house, and I'm like, why don't we ever make fried chicken? I love it. And then my fiance's like, I don't know what to do with the oil. He's like, what do you do with it? Where do you put it? What happens after it's done? I'm like, I don't know. I'll ask Miguel. He's like, if you don't ask Miguel at some point, and we have been having the same conversation for probably 2 years now. What do you do with the grease?
So I buy a big vat of Luana peanut oil. That's what I fry my chicken in. And so we have a funnel that we then take, and then Abe just pours the oil back into it, and then we discard the oil from there.
Oh, so you're just putting it back in the same container you got it in.
Because you use about 95% of the oil when you're doing that much chicken.
Yeah.
Because you're fully submerging the chicken. And so we just put it back in the container and then discarded the container.
Great to know. Thank
Yep.
you. This has been sought after information.
Yes,
for
that's
quite some
that's
time.
what you do. And if you need advice or a recipe how to do it, I can definitely let you know.
Okay.
And also to just if you're new to cooking, do not ever put oil down the sink.
No, that's
Yeah,
why. Because that's
that'll
why we
ruin
haven't
it.
ever done anything like that. Because
Right.
I'm like, I don't know, were you supposed to throw it out in the alleyway behind the house? Like, what?
Right. Nah, no, do not put it down the sink.
Mm-mm.
But it was so great. I love cooking for people. And there was like 10 people came over.
Mm.
And everyone's always like, oh my God, I feel so bad. You're in the kitchen cooking. And I'm like, there's nothing more I love than having my wine, being tipsy, doing my cooking thing, and everyone's just laughing and joking and having fun. And I'm just listening to everybody. Like that is my like favorite spot to be in.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic. And everyone was just eating up. And then they were talking about going to the club. And I was like, I am not gonna be
Yeah.
bloated, tooting throughout the club after fried chicken and macaroni and cheese and collard greens and mashed potatoes.
Oh my God, I can't imagine going to the club after that meal.
Mm-mm.
And
Kelvin
did.
Were you tooting at the club?
There was one point where I wanted to, but I didn't. I don't toot at the club.
Safe.
Yeah, save that.
No, you know what it was? I wanted to eat more chicken. And like I really wanted a second plate. I'm gonna be honest, but I didn't. And I feel like if I had that second plate, yeah, I would have been like, I can't go out.
Right.
But I had a somewhat medium to large-ish serving one,
Mhm.
and I was okay after.
Mm.
Had
You ate
some-
an appropriate portion size.
Yeah, that's subjective. But yes, I had one. The point is that I had one,
One.
and I wanted more, but I didn't. And we ended up going out.
Good for y'all. I was like, there is no way. But then Holly, we played that gay game top to bottom. It's
Yes.
like Cards Against
Jesus.
Humanity.
Where we were inappropriate, then wait, who was all over? Because if it's younger people,
No,
I hope
it was
you
I
kept your mouse clean.
Yeah, I told a story about how some younger gays have. So it's like Cards Against Humanity, where everybody has like 7 cards, and then you go around and you pick one of the other cards, and then everyone tries to match what they think you will find funny or appropriate or that matches. But some of these cards are so mid 2000s inappropriate.
Yeah.
Kelvin, what did you think?
It was really inappropriate, and it was very 2004 comedy,
Yes.
like still
Yeah.
using certain words.
Yes.
Yes, but yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we
You
played
don't
that.
have to throw that out, Miguel. You just have to throw the game.
No,
out.
well, see, this is the thing. I want to keep it because I want to every like 5 years come back to it just to see how cringy it
How
is.
worse it gets.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
But that was a good night. And then Sunday, like I said, Abe and I just sat on the couch and rotted all
Mhm.
day, and it was amazing. I like to always give you some recommendations on movies. Good movie to watch on Paramount Plus under Showtime is American Insurrection. It's feels like that's where we're headed if
I
you
was like,
watch the movie.
maybe it's a little bit too close to comfort for
I mean,
some people.
yeah, if you like that sort of thing, definitely worth it.
Mhm.
And then we watched oh god, what did we watch after that? Oh, this really corny, like if you want like a funny, corny Netflix horror movie called Hard Eyes.
Oh, I saw that in the lineup. I was like,
Mhm.
what is
I went to the
this?
theater to see that.
Oh yeah, with Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son.
Mm,
Yeah,
sexy.
he's sexy.
Yes.
But the movie is just,
It's hokey pokey.
it's one of those, all right, we're gonna throw $10 million budget at this movie and here's a fun horror movie. So
Got it.
there you go. But American Insurrection on Paramount Plus is my recommendation. Calvin, how can people find you on social media?
At Kelvin Live on TikTok, Twitter, but I really am just on Instagram, so make sure to follow.
Holly.
Radio Holly, Instagram, Threads, TikTok.
Mine is at Miguel Fuller.